Hey, mathematicians, it's great to see you back doing some more math. We are going to talk today about lesson 5-4, and we're going to talk about dividing multiples of 10. So that would be a problem like this. And you might look at that and think, nope, no way I'm going to do that. Well, you can do it. No worries. You have your repeated subtraction strategy. I'm going to show you that, but we are going to want you to use a more succinct strategy. So remember the dividing by repeated subtraction. So I'm guessing you set up your repeated subtraction or division problem something like what's below my yellow line. And you are going to be thinking of groups that you can, multiples of 60 that you can take out of 288. So I'm going to start with 2 because I know 2 times 60 is pretty easy. It's 120. So now I'm going to subtract my 120 from 288 and I get 168. Well, I can take another 120 out of that. So I add my 2 at the top and I've got another 120. And so I'm going to subtract that and I am going to get 48. Well, I can't take another 60 out, so I'm going to add up my numbers on top. I had taken out 4 groups of 60 with the remainder of 48. So there's the repeated subtraction way of doing the problem. Pause your video. Make sure you understood what I just did. Okay, but that strategy is a little longer, it takes a little bit more time. So a lot of people prefer the standard algorithm. That is shown in your reteaching page of 5-4. So you can look at the reteaching page and they show you an example of the standard algorithm. Standard algorithm and the box method are basically the same. The standard algorithm has you bringing everything down below the problem. The box method has you bring everything up. So let's see. I'll show you the box method first, and then you can relate it to the standard algorithm. So the box method has you writing out the problem and leaving spaces for bringing up your numbers. So now I'm going to think, how many times can 60 go into 2? Well, it can't. How many times can 60 go into 288? So first I think, how many times can 60 go into 2? It can't. 0 times 60 is 0. Subtract. Now I bring up. And I've got 28. Can 60 go into 28? No, it still can't go into 28. So 0 times 60 is 0. I subtract the 28. Are you remembering this? I hope you're remembering this. I bring it up, and now I've got 288 crammed over to there. How many times can 260 go into 288? I'm going to do a little bit of estimating, and I'm going to think, how many times can 50 go into 200? And I'm going to say 4. So now I get 4 times 60, and I'm going to erase this and make it a little bigger and easier for you to see. 4 times 60, 4 times 0, so I can go like this and write it out, is 0, and 6 times 4 is 24. So my answer is 240. So then I write it right under and I subtract and I get 48. So my answer is 4, remainder 48. All right. I'm going to do a little bit of erasing over here. You can pause and think about that strategy, because now I'm going to finally show you the very, very similar strategy, which is the standard algorithm The reason for the standard algorithm, the box method and the standard algorithm have you doing the same steps. It's just a different way to look at it. A lot of kids like the box method because it's a little tidier. It's a little easier to keep track of what you're doing. I would highly suggest, so I would recommend using graph paper or lined paper sideways so you can keep your place value columns. So now I'm going to think, how many times can 60 go into 2? It can't. 0. 0 times 60. Are you recognizing what we're doing? Is 0. I'm going to subtract. Same step as what you did right over here. I'm going to subtract. And then instead of bringing my 2 up like I did right here, I'm going to bring my 8 down. So again, I end up with 28, just like I ended up with 28 right here. Now, how many times can 60 go into 28? It can't. I'm going to get 0. 0 times 60 is 0. And I'm going to subtract again. Now I am on this step right here. And instead of bringing my 28 up like I did, I'm going to bring my 8 all the way down. And now I've got 288. How many times can 60 go into 288? 4. 4 times 60. And that's this section right here is 240. And you're going to subtract and you get a remainder of 48. I want you to pause and compare those two examples. Because it's the same number of steps and the same way to do it, I'm okay with you practicing this either way. If you're understanding both of them, this is the standard way. That's the way you're going to run into most. So I would suggest practicing the standard algorithm. If this boxed method makes life easier for you, practice that, get solid at that, and then eventually you can try out the standard algorithm. All right, we're going to move over to the next page. I'm going to give you some problems to practice, and then we'll go over them together. Okay, here's your first problem. You are going to write that down and pause my video. And after you get your answer, unpause. All right, welcome back. I'm going to demonstrate the box method first. So I'm going to draw my box and I'm going to leave lots of spaces because I can tell I'm going to need them. And then I'm going to think, how many times can 20 go into 4? It can't. It's 0. 0 times 20 is 0. I'm going to subtract. Oops, I forgot my lines. And I need to move that over a little bit. And I'm going to subtract my 4. And I'm going to bring it up. And now I've got 45. How many times does 20 go into 45? Probably said 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 4. All right, now I'm going to subtract. And I've got 5, and I'm going to bring up. And I've got another 5. Now, how many times can 20 go into 55? Well, 2 is 40, 3 is 60. So I have to stick with my 2 because I can't take 60 out. So I've got 40 and I'm going to have a remainder of 15. And you can say 15 out of 20. So a remainder of 15 out of 20. Okay, so now with the standard algorithm, we already kind of know the answer. But if you didn't do it the standard algorithm, I still want you to watch this because I do need you familiar with it. How many times can 20 go into 4? It can't. Subtract, bring down. So I've got 45. I can put my 0 up there just as a placeholder. How many times can 20 go into 45? 2 times. Now I'm going to go 2 times 20 is 40. And I'm going to have a remainder. I subtracted, remember? And Then I'm going to bring down my 5. And I am going to go, how many times can 20 go into 55? It can go in 2 times. 2 times 20 is 40. I'm going to subtract, and I have a remainder of 15. So my answer is 22, remainder 15. Or if you want to be really professional, 22 with 15 20ths left over. All right, everybody, you may go to your assignment now.